Ooby-doo, it's everyone's favorite boomer and vintage movie camera enthusiast. This is the entrance ramp to 287 South in Haskell. As you can see from the time and date stamp, it's October 2nd, 2016. It's like 12:30 p.m., so there is significant traffic. I believe this is a weekend because I was working at the time and I could only do crazy things on weekends. So you see all the cars are old cars. So what we're doing is going south. Now, part of the purpose of this video is it is historical, right? It's these hills. In 50 years, maybe you'll have all condos all over them or something like that. Maybe traffic always bumper to bumper between like 8 o'clock and 8 o'clock because I live in a congested area. So I want to document what the roads were like. Oh, of course, this is in glorious 640 by 480, but in 2016, that was like the best you could do with this camera, the JVC GU D71U. They were like 150 bucks. So if it's a digital, but big deal. It was 640 by 480. But if you want to go to like 1920 by 1080, you're talking big bucks, hundreds of dollars, maybe 1,000. Yeah, in 2016, that was big money. Now, I had a point and shoot that did 1920 by 1080. Yeah, I paid like 500 bucks for it. The Canon G15, but I didn't want to like use it as a dash cam in my car. I jury-rigged a tripod socket on the passenger seat, and it worked out pretty good. I worked up on Montvale. There's Montville and Montvale, so you can't get those two mixed up, but sometimes I do. And then we passed Booton, and then we get the Butler. Yeah, 287. It took them a long time. They built it up to Tawaco, and then their environmentalists stopped them, and then it was like it was stalled like for 15 years, and then they finally finished it off, and it went all the way up to Mawa, and it cut through all these mountains, and it is a beautiful ride. Okay, you get off the highway. What is this, Route 10? Route 10's a strange road. On weekends, traffic isn't too bad. You know, if nothing's happening, if it's a little crappy day out, maybe there won't be too much traffic. Of course, you're on the freeway, which is limited exit and entrance. And then you get on these the side highways where there's traffic lights every 2 miles or something, depending. So we were going south, now we're going west. So people aren't too bad. You know, you gotta drive defensively. Sometimes I leave 5 cars in front. That's why if someone wants to pass me or zigzag across, they could do it without me having to worry about getting trapped. Now, I prefer the middle lane, but I'll definitely use the left or right in a pinch. No problem with that. So I see 12:49, you'd think people would be at lunch, but there was a lot of traffic out and about that day. And I used to take these rides. And you know, a camcorder used tape. It uses the cassette, right? So all it could do, it could play, record at 1 speed, and that was it. You know, automatic aperture, automatic focus. That was nice. You could put a date and time stamp on it for historical purposes. A cloudy day like this, there's no harsh shadows. Everything's evenly lit. The exposure is coming out pretty good. You get a real sense of what the road's like. Of course, I was taking a trip to nowhere. I was by myself. Maybe my girlfriend was doing something that day, so I said, hell, I'm going to, or maybe I was going to see her later in the day. I don't remember. So I took like an hour cruise somewhere around my neighborhood, which is North Jersey. I live 35 miles northeast of New York City, but I consider North Jersey my neighborhood. You know, I'm very familiar with all the roads, and you know, it's I like to go down side streets. So in case someday I'm there by accident, I say, "Oh, I know where I am. I've been here before." If I go south, I hit this road or something like that. Oh, now Route 10 is built up. The corridor was built up as soon as you got off at 287. But the more west you go, the more you see countrified it is. But that's not going to stay this way. It's 2016. I'm posting this in 2026. In 2036, you don't think there's all going to be strip malls and office buildings and professional offices and you know, this built up condos and more traffic. They'll probably have to make this road 3 lanes. It may have been 1 lane at one time. A country road through farms and rolling hills and stuff. Oh no, you can see it's all going to get built up. So there's a lot of stop and go. There's no doubt about that. And traffic's sort of moderate. I decided to bail and get off here. Oh, see, I was on Route 10, and that sign, this road takes you north of Route 46. So I'm making a big loop. That's what I'm doing. I see right off the highway, you can see all the stores, gas stations, you know, stuff like that. As you get further up, it gets more residential, and then it builds up again, and then right before Route 46, you'll see more stores and everything. But, you know, some corridors are designated as growth areas. Like this road is probably, because Route 10 and Route 46, they parallel each other. So in between, they pick a main road, and they say, let's put all the stores and stuff on this road. I'm talking about urban sprawl, development, fucked environment, you know. Everyone talks about, in New Jersey, we got our liberal, woke people, but it doesn't stop anything. They go out and protest, but the people need a place to live. And all the towns need ratables for their taxes. So we're in a growth trap, really. I mean, traffic this is 2016. And I was going down this road October 2nd, 2026, at around 12:30, 1 o'clock, it'd probably be pretty sucky, because that's just the way it is. I mean, more people moved in. Oh, I don't know where they came from, but I really do know where they come from. A lot of them just came from other countries, and they settled here. I ask them all, when you were in your country, did you hear about New Jersey? Oh, we heard about New York and New York City, but then... or maybe in the beginning no one knew about New Jersey, but then later on, it's, oh, I had a relative who lives here. Yes, one of the vanguard of the immigrants told friends and family about New Jersey. I've been here. I was born here. My parents were born here. Some of my grandparents are from the old country, and some of them were American. I don't know what that means. Sure, I've been brainwashed into America. I went to school. I don't know. The teachers I had, they didn't try and brainwash me. They just teach me. I remember they taught me how to do reading, writing, and arithmetic. They taught me history and science and stuff like that. It was up to you to pay attention to it, or else, you know, totally ignore it. I could say. Things were different when I was a kid. I'm talking like a boomer, of course, but look at this guy driving like that. I see that a lot. Back then, that was rare, but now people are doing it all the time. They want to drive half in your lane. You know, they don't turn the turn signal on until after they make a turn. They say, well, that's okay. I'll make the turn and turn my turn signal on. Mostly people were driving pretty normally. Oh, it got really bad. That's one of the reasons I retired, because I couldn't stand the commute. It was just so obnoxious. People are messed up. Well, at least this guy uses turn signal, huh? So this is just a big loop. I just wanted to take a drive. I wanted to check this system out, see what it was all about. So it was a two-step process. I used this palm quarter on the tape. Then I had to play it back, and I did have a what are those? Oh, I had a desktop, and I had the video capture card that I plugged into the PCI slot. Yeah, and then I burned a DVD. A standard DVD is only 640 by 480, and that was like top notch back in the day. Oh yeah, now I do everything in 1920 by 1080. 4K takes up a lot of space and a lot of bandwidth. And I did do a lot of 4K stuff, but then, you know, there's always, what can you afford? In 2016, terabyte hard drives are sort of expensive, you know? So if you had a couple of them, you're talking a couple $100. And, you know, 4K uses up a lot of the storage space. So I went to 1920 by 1080. Cherry Hill. Yeah, it's a famous place. Of course, there's no more cherries on the hill. They all got chopped down, and they put up all these stores and everything. Look at that big-ass bus. At least he waited for me to pass him. Oh, so here's the exchange for Route 46. Oh, wait a minute. Did I get gas or something? Oh, maybe I made a mistake. I think, oh, you see, there's signs everywhere. So all I have to do is follow the signs. That's pretty cool. So now I believe I'm going east. Now everyone's doing 65 miles an hour. Now, if you were looking at the clock, I've been driving over an hour. There's more traffic now than an hour ago because everyone's done from lunch and they're going home or doing more shopping or visiting people. Yeah, sometimes when the roads are crowded, I just get in the left lane and I cruise up with the crowd as fast as they want to go. This is 287, now we're going north again. It's got some really steep hills on it. This is probably Morris County, I believe. Yeah, sometimes people wail away on these hills and some people dog them. I don't want to go too fast because I don't want the police to pull me over. So if this guy in front of me is doing 70, I'll stay there and do 70. I'm cool with that. Oh, he picked up speed. He's wailing away now. Now, I'm probably doing 70, so that means all these other people are doing faster than 70. Oh, brake lights are hitting. Must be a cop up there or something. Oh, it must be a weekend because there weren't a lot of trucks. If it was a weekday, this road would be full with trucks. The hills are so steep that sometimes when people get to the top, they forget to step on the gas or something, or their cruise control wimps out. I can't say why. So this is a Route 23 interchange we're coming up to, which is Riverdale. Pompton Plains. It must be raining a little bit. I got my wipers on. Well, luckily, I didn't get stuck in any traffic. I was able to do my cruise. I remember when this road was brand new and I let everyone on it. And like for 10 years, it was a really nice ride. And then all of a sudden getting potholes. And let me tell you about how this state I live in does things. well, or this is a federal road. I don't know if who takes care of it, but you get a pothole, it'll stay there for weeks and months. They don't tell you who you're supposed to report it to get it fixed, but sometimes they'll get a big pothole and it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and finally they get around to fixing it like 6 months later. That's the way they do it. Now we're heading north towards Mawa. This is the part that was the environmentalists stopped for 10 years. It's a nice ride. It's pretty scenic. But I would imagine that some of this may be parkland, but some of it isn't. I'm sure it's going to get developed. That's the thing. You know, eventually there's going to be all high-rise office buildings and schools and hospitals and condos. I don't see how else. I mean, say in 2010, this road wasn't here. I mean, you could go hiking all through there. It was all wilderness. I don't know if they stole the land from the Indians to do this. They eventually, the first plan was to put the highway on top of the mountain, which I think is ridiculous because this area gets significant snow and ice, and the roads would always be closed during major storms. And even as it is, now I just crossed over to New York, right? This is New York. This is the thruway. I'm only going to be on the thruway for a little bit. I'm going to get on 17. New York has like 10 different 17s. 17A, 17B, 17K, 17L, 17M. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. So this is Hillsdale or something like that. Oh, Hillburn. Oh, this is a bad road. It's got potholes and everything. New York State has decided to ignore this road and let it get crappy and everything, which is horrendous. This is the Hillburn section. You really got to take it slow here. I think the posted speed is 35 miles an hour. Where houses were is 25, and sometimes, well, the cops used to hang out there all the time before George Floyd. But after George Floyd, they stopped hanging out, and people wail through the posted 25-mile zone without a worry in the world. Look at how twisty and turny this road is. You know, it's like a real slalom. You can see the trees are just starting to turn. Tuxedo. If you made it right there, it takes it to Tuxedo. Here's a big change right here, right here. The Jehovah's sold the Watchtower in New York City, and they got $1 billion, and they're building their new Jehovah Witness headquarters just back of me a little bit. We cross back over into New Jersey now. This is Greenwood Manor, and there's a convent on the left side. There was. This is Margaret King Highway. Oh, look at all the traffic now. Wow, there's a lot of traffic. Scary. Another twisty, turny road. Oh, and there's a lot of trucks on this road. And this is another terrible road where Ringwood doesn't repair their roads at all. There's these big giant potholes there. So what I do is I take the main road we're going to hit, and I go down 2 miles, and I backtrack 2 miles, just so I don't have to drive on this horrible road. I mean, it used to be an empty road and very pleasant, and even in 2016, you can see it's starting to get very busy there. This is the reservoir. There's some historical buildings right there. I think this is I think we're in West Milford right now. Yeah, I just felt like taking a cruise. I wanted to document. Oh, look at, they paved the road 20 years ago. I guess they're due again. So I wanted to document what North Jersey was like on a loop, and on October 2nd, 2016. All right, it was in, look at the price of gas, $2.05 for premium. Holy shit, I'm getting some gas. When you pull in, if gas is $2.05 for premium, October 2nd, 2016. There's some historical documentation for you. So this is the Warwick Turnpike if you want to go to Wawayanda State Park. Oh, look at the traffic on this road. It's pretty bad. Wow. So you really got a romp on it here, because someone who's like 500 or 600 feet back, he'll try and pass you at the last minute where it turns into one lane. Upper Greenwood Lake. Yeah, I mean, this is just a ride in the country, that's all. A lot of twisty, turny roads up there. A lot of twisty, turning, crazy roads up there. It's got to be... Look at how bad the roads are, full of potholes and substandard patching.